all you need to know, the Bloomberg Quint podcast that prepares you for the day's business.
Good morning and welcome to the daily morning news update from Bloomberg Quint. I'm Menika Doshi. This is September 2nd. I'm sure you already know that yesterday the Supreme Court decided to give telecom companies 10 years to pay their AGR dues. Now, this long pending case has to do with how revenue is defined when computing statutory payments that telecom companies make for spectrum, etc. Both Airtel and Vodafone Idea owe the government large amounts of money, which they now have a time reprieve to pay. The judgment says 10% of the total dues must be paid by March next year and the rest in subsequent annual installments. Both Airtel and Vodafone have already paid more than 10%, so their next payment is likely due in 2022. While Airtel is in a much better financial condition to make these payments, the broad consensus amongst industry experts is that Vodafone Idea will have to raise tariffs to fund the payments, and that's going to be tough to do. Now on to a few encouraging data points over the last 24 hours. As you know, auto companies report factory gate sales at the start of the month. So far, the numbers show a revival, with Maruti and Hero outdoing competitors. Maruti July sales were up 17%. Hero was up 7%. This is over the same period last year. M&M Tractors had a fabulous August with a 70% jump in sales. New entrants MG Motors and Kia fared well too. You can track all those numbers on our auto blog on bloombergquint.com. The government's GST collection for the month of July remained steady at 86,449 crore rupees. That's 1% lower than June and 12% lower than the same period last year. Though you should note that July's collections include the tax paid by small businesses with turnovers up to 5 crore for the months of March and April, as the due dates had been extended. Coal India reported the first increase in monthly shipments since February. The company shipped 9% more than a year earlier. Output rose 7%. That's the first increase in 5 months. This is encouraging news as it indicates demand for electricity is normalizing as offices, factories, and other commercial establishments resume work after a long lockdown. The India Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index reported well as well. It measures activity in the manufacturing sector, and this manufacturing PMI rebounded to pre-COVID levels after 4 months of contraction as economic activity continued to pick up. It's now at 52 compared to 46 in July. A number above 50 indicates expansion in business activity. The rupee continued its gaining streak yesterday, up 1% on RBI commentary that it may tolerate a stronger currency as it tries to contain inflation. The rupee closed at 72.87. We're seeing gains across Asian equity markets after Wall Street continued its record rally on the back of technology shares. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Hormuz Fatakia for a quick view of how the Indian markets are set up.
Good morning to you, Menka, and to our listeners as well. Tuesday was a day of fluctuations, but despite that, the markets managed to recover some, if not all, of Monday's losses. On to some specific stocks now, and let's first start with auto sales. Hero MotoCorp says that rural and semi-urban centers are currently driving demand and that it has seen a rise in its premium segment market share, courtesy its latest launch, the Xtreme 160R. The two-wheeler maker reported a 7.5% year-on-year growth in its overall sales for the month of August. Hero MotoCorp's peers now and TVS Motors reported a flat sales growth in August, while Bajaj Auto will be reporting its monthly sales figures today. Tractor sales have been the outperformer for the month of August. After Escorts and Mahindra, VST Tillers also reported a 10% growth in overall tractor sales, while power tiller sales were up 80% compared to the previous year. Away from auto sales now, and NMDC's iron ore sales for the month of August saw a rise of 20% compared to the same period last year, while iron ore production was up 15%. Coal India reported its first increase in monthly shipments in 6 months. Offtake for the month of August saw a rise of 9.3% compared to last year. Coal Minister Prahlad Joshi has said that the company will invest over 1 lakh crore rupees by 2023-24 for various coal-related projects. The company will also be reporting its June quarter results today. And speaking of earnings, ONGC reported a net profit in the June quarter, contrary to Bloomberg estimates of a net loss. Operational performance too was higher than estimates, but realizations nearly halved compared to the previous quarter. Arvind Fashions, Jubilant Foodworks, Dish TV, Infibeam and Sadbhav Engineering are some non-index names that will be reporting results today. Infosys has decided to increase its US hiring commitment to 25,000 jobs by 2022 and that it will hire another 12,000 American workers over the next 2 years. Also in focus today will be Vodafone Idea, which will be holding a board meeting on the 4th of September to consider raising funds in one or more tranches. The stock ended 13% lower on Tuesday after the Supreme Court's verdict on AGR dues. In some key brokerage calls now, Motilal Oswal has initiated coverage on SBI Life Insurance with a buy rating and a price target of 1,000 rupees, implying a 20% upside from current levels. The brokerage has cited strong distribution network, cost leadership, and access to a large customer base of its parent State Bank of India as some of the key factors behind its bullish stance. Early ticks on the SGX Nifty show that the index trades higher by around 30 points near the mark of 11,550. You can get more details on all of these stocks and a lot more in our All You Need to Know copy on BloombergQuint.com. And with that, I wish you a safe day ahead and it's back to you, Menka.
Thanks, Hormuz. That brings us to the end of this morning update. Thanks very much for listening. You have a great day.
I hope you enjoyed listening to All You Need to Know. Did you know that you can listen to the show on the IVM Podcast app? On the IVM Podcast app, along with this, we have a number of other shows which you think you'll enjoy. Listen to Cyrus Says with Cyrus Brocha as the host. Listen to Pesa Vesa with Anupam Gupta. The Scene and the Unseen with Amit Verma. Or Shunya One hosted by Shiladitya Mukhopadhyay and myself. Check out the IVM Podcast app to get more talk content that you will enjoy.